Behold, Downwell, an incredibly simple game that I cannot stop playing. The simplicity is only matched by its difficulty. I find simple games to be the most rewarding, especially if they're based on skill like Downwell is. On the surface, it looks like a game about falling down a well. Yeah, who would have guessed? But once you start playing, you realize this is no ordinary well. There's a whole lot of shit between you and the bottom, and it's all out to get you. You aren't just jumping freely down a well with complete disregard. You came prepared. You have your gun boots equipped. This magical piece of equipment is the only thing between you and death. It's your brakes, your attack, and your best friend. So it works like this. First, imagine the protagonist falling down a well. They would fall faster and faster until they reached a terminal velocity. However, when you fire your gun boots, it gives some backwards momentum. Not enough to go back up the well, but enough to give a slight pause from the madness of falling. It's like pumping the brakes in a car. The boots are also useful for getting through enemies and blocks. Yet they only carry a limited amount of charges. You must spend these very carefully. They're almost as important as your health. Running out of charges will almost always end in damage being taken because the well becomes extremely dangerous. If you can't slow your momentum and take stock of the situation, there's not enough time to react. Panic sets in, and as you look for a safe place to land, you'll inevitably make a mistake. This movement system is what makes Downwell. The out-of-control falling that you can only momentarily pause is thrilling. The gun boots are genius. They solve two problems at once and punish you for being reckless with the ammo. There's no way you'll be able to fall at full speed and be safe, so you must show restraint and carefully use the ammo. But shit happens, and some enemies can't be stomped. Starting off, you'll play it safe and land on a lot of platforms, trying to feel your way through the different scenarios you'll see. As you start forming tactics and gaining confidence, you'll go for longer and longer before hitting a platform. This is riskier but good because there is a combo system for killing enemies without stopping. Combos are very valuable too. They can give you a +1 to your charge, or if you go long enough, they'll even heal you for one. And that's a pretty big deal. It can sustain your run even longer, and having more charge means even more ammo for breaking. Even getting a combo of 8 rewards you with 100 gems, and that's still very valuable. Also, the combos feel incredible to pull off. It's an unbelievable high that I feel when I get that 25 combo, proving my skill in Downwell. One of the things you'll notice while playing is that the transition from beginner to pro is seamless. There's no secret tactics or buttons or memorizing movesets. It's great how it's in the player's hands to get better and select which risks they want to take. No doubt the game is difficult, especially deeper into the well. You'll still get hung up, but another benefit from getting better is that the first few levels that seemed so difficult when you started are now trivial. They don't get tiresome though because you can speed through them faster than ever. You can build up your combo that will net you more charge and give you a greater benefit later, so keeping those first few levels relevant. If you do fail though, your greed is the only thing to blame. Downwell forces the player to adapt to all kinds of situations. Adapt or die should be the motto of this game. You have no idea what upgrades, weapons, or enemies are coming. Upgrades are chosen between each level. You'll have your favorites, but you're only given a selection of 3 random choices each time. It's also a good idea to select them based on how your current run is going. For example, if the run is going great, maybe you'll want to grab Youth, which will increase how many upgrade choices you see to 4. Perhaps it's going terrible and you'll want the Apple to heal for 4 HP. You also will adapt to which upgrades you pick, like when you select the Safety Jetpack, which lets you hover briefly when you're out of charges. This will let you play a little more loose with your ammo. One of my favorites, the Blast module, shoots a small explosion when you stomp on an enemy. It really changes the game and allows you to bypass a lot of blocks fast. Yet another aspect you need to adapt to are the weapons you'll pick up. Oh sure, just pick up your favorite from burst, laser, knockbeat, puncher. However, as you might expect, you only come across some of these on a run. What you don't realize is that you'll probably have to pick up a weapon you don't want. Downwell combines health and charge pickups with the weapon pickup. So you'll switch weapons, but also get healed for one. Maybe you hate playing with the laser, but you're on your last hit point. Do you not pick up the weapon? No, I think you pick it up. You'll frequently be stuck with a weapon you might not want, but the bonus is probably worth it. So, adapt or die. Downwell gives the player everything from the start. Weapons and upgrades are not locked behind progression. It's up to the player to learn the tools and adapt. With all the power given to the player, it's up to them to make their own way. It's ultimately what gives Downwell that one more run feeling so strongly. It's in the player's hands to adapt and stay alive. You must get in another run to cover the feeling of shame from the last. You've learned from your mistake and must prove to the game you have the skills to beat it. One last thing to note is that this game is incredibly simple at what it's asking, and everything works as expected. The shotgun shoots a spread, the balloon upgrade slows your descent. The simplicity even extends to the art style. Sure, it's visually interesting, but it cuts down on what you need to focus on, with the red prominently displaying threats and objects of interest. I couldn't imagine the game in a full color palette. At the speed the game wants you to fall at, you need to clearly see the threats. Hell, even with this design and the speed it's at, it can be still tough. Of course, there is some other stuff you'll figure out along the way that I'm not going to spoil. Overall, Downwell is a fantastic take on a roguelike, completely unique, truly difficult to put down once you get hooked. A test of my skill that I will accept and want to overcome every time. I never can sit down and play for just a little bit. It's amazing how much this game pulls off with so little. A very simple concept of falling down a well, but the gun boots, they make the game. Thanks for watching.